Hey, so today I'm going to be using the spot welder that I purchased from Amazon. As you guys know, I do love a bargain, so this was a low costing one that I found. I will set it all up, show you how to get it all plugged in, and then we'll give it a go and see how it works. So this is everything that comes in the box. You've got the plug that plugs into the back to the mains. A pair of tweezers which you're going to hold your metal with that you want to weld. This is a handheld welder that you can plug in. We've got the foot pedal which initiates the weld. And so yes, this is the other option where you can set up on a little stand the tungsten needle, which is this here, and then you can bring your piece to that, so it's kind of like hands-free basically. So yeah, two options. You've got the hand-free one and then you've got the handheld welder. So here we go, just setting up the stand. It's actually more straightforward than I thought. When I first opened the box with all the things, it looked a little intimidating to be fair, but actually it's quite straightforward. So you take the tungsten needle, you just literally unscrew that red bit on the end, thread it through, screw that back up, and it's literally as simple as that. That's that one all set up and ready to be plugged in. And then with the handheld one, you just need to unscrew it so that you can make sure the needle is poking through the end, if that makes sense, because at the moment it's tucked in. There we go. So yeah, what you do is you unscrew the back, push the needle forward a little bit when you put screw the cap back on the back, and then you can see that the needle is poking out there. Equally, I think you could probably unscrew the front and pull it a little bit and then put it back on. And nice and easy, both of these have got the red wires, so really simply they plug into this one. And then here are the tweezers that you hold your work with. Now, one thing I must say about the tweezers is make sure you do use this to hold your piece, because when I used this, I thought I would try and hold my piece with my with a leather glove. When I used the welder, it did give me a little shock. It was only a small shock, but you know, it scared the crap out of me. So always use those tweezers to hold the piece you're welding. Okay, there we go. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, so turning around the box, you put the plug into the back of it, and then of course the other end, the actual plug, will then go plug into the mains. So the foot pedal, you push that into the little connector on the left hand side, push it in and then screw the top cap bit on. Then the foot pedal goes on the floor so that you can control it using your foot. This allows you to have both of your hands free, so you're either using that to hold the handheld welder or holding your metal, just makes life easier, very similar to when you're making jewellery and using the foot pedal. And now to plug in the tweezers. So there's like a little fork prong, and when you unscrew that little connector bit on the box, you then just, there we go, you can't really see because my head's in the way, great. You basically push it in, slide it on to the metal that you've just revealed by screwing that thing, like loosening it, and then you tighten it back up again. There we go, real. That's all connected. Okay, so now for the dials on the front, and these are going to control how powerful the weld is, and you'll want to play with these depending how thick the metal is that you're using. Just as a starting point, I started with these at 109 on both sides, and it seemed to work really well. There's a little lever on the dial that you just have to pull up, twist the dial to where you want it to be, and then push it back down again. And the red button in the top left corner is a power button, so you can turn the machine on and off. So safety with this machine, the light that's emitted when you actually do the welding is really bright, and you definitely want to protect your eyes, so make sure you get some dark glasses. These are some really handy welding goggles that I got from Amazon. You can flick the tinted lenses up, super handy when you're trying to just line things up, and then just flip them down when you're gonna use the foot pedal to create that flash of light when it welds. Here's a couple of jump rings that I'm gonna just have a play with. So you bring your piece up to the tip of the tungsten needle, and then when you press the foot pedal with your foot, it's going to create that spark of light, which is when it has been a successful weld. The other thing I noticed is when you actually touch the needle to the metal, sometimes the foot pedal, it actually wouldn't work. So just hovering it really close to the join and then doing it seemed to work a little bit better. With the weld as well, it's quite on the surface, it doesn't go very deep. So with something like this, where I think it was about like 1 mil, 1.2 mil, something like that, you definitely need to weld it a few times. So just go all the way around the join as much as you can to make sure it's securely shut. This is my setup. I did find when you had the dark glasses on, it was really tricky to see really fine, tiny little jump rings, so using the magnifier definitely helped. And this is the hands-free tungsten needle that's on the stand. This one would be great if you had to hold two pieces together. You can bring it up to the needle and then weld it, whereas the handheld one, you can maybe get a bit more control because you can precisely hold the needle directly onto the join, but you only have one hand free for that one. So yeah, advantages to both. After a few uses, there's a bit of a carbon build-up on the tip of the needle, so I was just using some sandpaper just to get that surface off, and then it makes it nice and clean again to use. But here are the bits that I played around with. I did manage to weld together 2 bits of tubing, played with some different thickness wires as well. So it definitely does work, it is successful. It doesn't leave a nice smooth finish like when you solder 2 pieces together. So just bear in mind it does make a bit of a crevice in the metal, so you'd have to do some tidying up there. I reckon it could create quite a cool texture in metal, so you might be able to actually use that in part of a design. So yeah, it's definitely got its uses, and I can see it being handy in the workshop. It's just worth having a little play with and see how you get on with it. Thank you so much for watching my videos and all the support that you guys give me. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys soon.